Namaskaram, my name is S. Ashok Kumar. Welcome to my channel. In the last part, I explained about the trachea and structure of alveoli. And in this part, I am going to explain about the lungs. Okay? These lungs are present in thoracic chamber or cavity. Thoracic cavity. So this thoracic cavity divided into two chambers. Each chamber contains one lung. Okay. What is the unique importance of thoracic chamber? This thoracic chamber is a tight chamber. A tight chamber. What it is the meaning of a tight chamber? You know, this is this thoracic cavity or thoracic chamber is designed in such a way like the volume of thoracic chamber is directly reflects the volume of the volume within the lungs. The volume within the lungs is called as a pulmonary volume. Pulmonary volume means the volume within the lungs. That is why what it means that, for example, if the thoracic chamber volume is increased, pulmonary volume also will increase. If the thoracic chamber volume is decreases, pulmonary volume, the volume within the lungs also get decrease. That is why this thoracic chamber is a airtight chamber. How it made like airtight chamber? You know, it made like that is a dorsally. This thoracic chamber dorsally formed by vertebral column. Vertebral column. Ventrally by sternum. Laterally by ribs. And down portion occupied by diaphragm. That is why with these boundaries, dorsally by the ventral column, ventrally by the sternum, laterally by the ribs, and down portion is occupied by the dome-shaped diaphragm. All these things made this thoracic cavity or thoracic chamber is a airtight chamber. Now comes to the structure of the lungs. Little bit I will explain here. So here I represented the general structure or representation of the lungs like, first I am starting like this one, consider as larynx. Larynx. From the posterior part of the larynx, the trachea gets continuous. This red color portion I am calling as a trachea. As we know, at fifth thoracic vertebra, this trachea gets divided into two primary bronchi. Each primary bronchi enters into corresponding lung. Okay. Now this you consider, this is a right lung, this is a left. Okay. So first point is to remember, each lung is covered by double layered pleural membrane. Double layered pleural membrane. This one you are seeing is the outer layer, is called as a parietal pleural membrane. The inner one is a visceral pleura. These two together called as a pleural membrane. You are understanding? Each lung is covered by double layered pleural membrane. Outer parietal pleura, inner visceral pleura. Between these two membranes, there is a space is called as a pleural space. That pleural space is occupied with a pleural fluid. What is the importance of this pleural fluid? That fluid gives a protection to the lungs from the friction. Because the lungs are continuously undergo contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation. So to get the protection, this particular pleural fluid is giving the protection. Okay? Next one, each lung in the middle, if you see here, This portion, if you see here, there is a hole. That hole is called as a hilum. So each lung middle part, almost middle part, there is a hole or there is a pore part is called as a hilum. What is importance of hilum? Through hilum, this primary bronchi enters into the respective lungs. Along with the primary bronchi, that pulmonary veins, pulmonary blood vessels are there, na? Those pulmonary blood vessels also enters into the corresponding lungs through this hilum. Okay. Now next point is like, if you take the left lung below the hilum, if you see the left lung below the hilum, there is a notch like this. There is a notch. What is this notch is called? This is called as a cardiac notch. So what is importance of cardiac notch? Where you can see the presence of heart. Where this heart is present, that particular portion or that particular part is called as a mediastinum. So this mediastinum, where the heart is situating, this thoracic chamber or thoracic cavity divided into two chambers based on the position of the mediastinum where the heart is situated. Okay. So that depression where the heart is present of the left lung is called as a cardiac notch. Now go to the right lung. So if you see the structure of the right lung from the surface, if you see it, you can see fissure. If you see, first one is like this. This one is called as a oblique fissure. This one oblique fissure. This oblique fissure separates the right lung into two lobes. One is the superior lobe. Next one, down one is called as a inferior lobe. This superior and inferior lobe get separated due to the presence of the oblique fissure. In the superior lobe, along with the oblique fissure, there is a horizontal fissure also like this. Horizontal fissure, this one. What you are seeing, this one. Horizontal fissure. This horizontal fissure separating the superior lobe into, one is a superior, another one is a middle lobe. That is why right lung having the three lobes. Superior lobe, middle lobe and inferior lobe. These three lobes are formed due to the presence of two fissures. That is an oblique and a horizontal fissure. Three lobes. But in case of left lung, only oblique fissure only present. When I said itself, oblique fissure only present like this, you can understand left lung consists of only two lobes. One is a superior lobe, another one is a inferior or lower lobe. Okay? So what you need to remember? At a fifth thoracic vertebra, trachea divides into primary bronchi. The primary bronchi enter into the respective lungs. That you understood. Now, once the primary bronchi enters into the respective lung, it divides into secondary bronchi. Now, each lobe receives the one secondary bronchi. What you understood? Right lung consists of how many lobes? Three lobes. Now, that means in case of right lung, primary bronchi divides into three secondary bronchi. Secondary bronchi also called as a lobar bronchi. Why? Because secondary bronchi enters into the corresponding lobe. You are understanding? In case of left lung, only two lobes are present now. So here primary bronchi divide into only two secondary bronchi. That is why what I said, each lobe receives one secondary bronchi. This is the overall required structure of the lungs. Here you remember only some point like for the NEET exam. This lung is present in the airtight thoracic chamber. It made airtight by these structures, dorsally by the ventral column, ventrally by the sternum, laterally by the ribs, lower side is occupied by the dome-shaped diaphragm. This point you should remember about the lungs. After explaining the structure of lungs, now I am going to enter into the process of respiration. Okay, from the first part to till now I explained about the physiology of the human respiratory system. Means I started from the nose and I explained up to the lungs. So nose I explained, then pharynx I explained, larynx I explained, then trachea, then alveoli. Finally I explained about the lungs. So the required information already I explained. Now I am entering into the process. Okay. So what are the different steps involved in the respiration? Okay, na? So here the first step you can easily understand. The first step is pulmonary ventilation. So the name is somewhat typical. Pulmonary ventilation is nothing but it is a breathing. Breathing means what? Both it includes both inhalation and exhalation. Okay. Now consider, for example, you consider the inhalation. Once we took air from the atmosphere, that oxygen consider, that oxygen reached to the alveoli, where the exchange part, that is the exchange part. So from there, that particular oxygen enters into the blood, as we know. From the blood, carbon dioxide come back to the alveoli. That one is called as a exchange of gases. What are the gases? Carbon dioxide and oxygen for reference point. Between lungs and blood. This type of exchange is called exchange of the gases between the lungs and blood, or you can call it between the alveoli and blood. This is called as a pulmonary gas exchange. Following. So after oxygen enter into the blood, that oxygen is transported to through different tissues now. So the next one is that transport of gases. Transport of gases include both the oxygen and the carbon dioxide. So finally that oxygen reaches to the tissues. There from the blood oxygen enters into the tissue. Simultaneously carbon dioxide from the tissues enter into the blood. That one. Here also exchange of gases. Exchange of gases, carbon dioxide and oxygen simultaneously between blood and tissues. This is called systemic gas exchange. Here you can see the two types of gas exchange. One is a pulmonary gas exchange, another one is the systemic gas exchange. So finally oxygen enter into tissues. What is happening? That is step 5, that is a utilization of oxygen by tissues. You can understand. Utilization of oxygen by the tissues comes under cellular respiration. Definitely that is a cellular aerobic respiration. So this fifth part, as we know, this fifth part that is placed in another topic. I already explained that include glycolysis, Krebs cycle and electron transport chain. Under the title name is respiration in plants. In this chapter, that is a breathing and exchange of the gases. These are 4 steps we are going to cover. One is a pulmonary ventilation or breathing. Next one is exchange of the gases. Together we will explain. Next one is a transport of gases. Step by step, one by one, these 4 steps I am going to explain in the process. So till now, if you understand the concept, you can like this video, share this video to your friends and subscribe our channel. If you have any doubt about the chapter for the NEET exam or for your board exam, you can comment below. Definitely I will help you. Thank you.